Morning, Kendra.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you here.
Thank
Good morning,
you.
John.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Buenos
morning.
dias.
Buenos dias. And I see Larry here too. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Maite. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. I'm not sure. A. Supran?
Amy.
Amy.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. Good to see
Hello. Nice to meet you.
you. Nice to meet you too. And Billy, good to see you. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Good morning. Good to see you too.
And please let us know who you are on the chat box as we're waiting for people to join us. Let us know your name and your company name, where you're joining us from. That would be great for everyone to. This is the way we exchange our business cards now. Amy, I just made the connection right now. You're Billy's friend.
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Yes, I just made that connection. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we just met this week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to have you here.
I've had a couple people tell me about this group though, so I just haven't had the chance to hop onto a call. So glad I finally made it in.
I'm glad you're here too. You have your coffee. Make sure everybody, you have your coffee ready as we're letting people in. I'm on my second cup this morning, so. Buenos dias, Rich.
¿Qué tal? Buenos días, buenos días.
Yes. You have your cafecito ready this morning?
You got it.
All right. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here with us bright and early on a Friday with your coffee in hand. I want to start off by saying that this month is not only Small Business Month, so we're celebrating Small Business Month this month by a lot of classes that we're offering this month, and Giovanni will be talking about that. And secondly, it's also Mental Mindfulness or Mental Awareness Month. So we have a special guest today that will be talking about mental health with us. And I think as entrepreneurs, as business owners, it's very important that we take care of our mental health. So how adequate is that? So I want to start this morning by inviting you personally to an event that we're going to be having this coming Wednesday on the 12th. We have joined forces with the American Business Immigration Coalition, and they're a national coalition that is fighting for DACA, for students who are under the DREAM Act. So we're going to be urging our senators to support the DREAM Act because here in North Carolina alone, we have 24,000 students under the DACA program, under the DREAM Act. So I encourage you, if you can, join us. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 12th at 10 a.m. And if you can't join us, if you can please join us in signing this national letter. We're looking for 350 signatures before Wednesday. I will be one of the speakers on this program, and I am also co-chairing this program. So I think that it's very important as a Latino organization that we support our students. So please join us. And if you can't join us, please help us sign that letter. Secondly, I want to share with you that we are getting ready to launch our pilot programs this fall. So in September, you'll start seeing that we're going to be doing a lot of programs under our new entrepreneurial hub. So I'll give you a little taste of what that looks like. We have a phase that we're calling the planting seeds phase, where companies or entrepreneurs are starting to form their business. The second phase is the professionalizing phase, which a lot of us are in that phase where we already have our business, but there are a lot of things that we can do to improve our business, to be able to develop those relationships, supply diversity with big companies, and to be able to form our entities and continue to grow our entities and build those roots. Then the third phase is the scaling phase, which I'm very happy to announce that this week we've got a partnership with Wells Fargo. They are supporting the scaling phase, and we're very proud, very happy that we can get that program going. Scaling phase is for those companies that are ready to scale, perhaps another business here in the Carolinas or another state, or replicating something great that they have. So we'll be taking those entrepreneurs through those classes, and each class will end with a stipend to help that entrepreneur be able to scale their business. So we're very proud of this entrepreneurial hub. And then we also have a signature program that we're also launching this fall. It is called Cultivating Talent, Cultivando Talento. So this signature program will help people who are in search of jobs to really develop those skills and relationships with those companies who are looking for Latino talent or looking for just great talent in general. And we'll be announcing a little bit more about that. So we're very busy at the chamber, but we're also very excited about what's to come in the fall. You'll see that a lot of new things are happening. So if you want to be part of any of these programs, I encourage you to send Giovanni an email, send me an email, send Debbie an email, and say, I'm interested, I want to be part of these programs, I want to learn more, because we're getting ready to build out a schedule of our participants on these pilot programs that we're launching this fall. So very excited about that. And then I also want to tell you that Giovanni is going to tell you all the other events that we have in May. This May is packed with great events so that you're learning in the month of May, Small Business Month. So I am going to hand it over to Giovanni. Welcome again, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Grace. So let me update you guys on some of the events that we do have coming up as early as next week. So on Monday, May 10th, starting at 3 o'clock, we will have the Subsidio para la Revitalización de Restaurantes, which is the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. So if any of our members that are restaurant owners, I strongly recommend that you attend this. And again, that's next Monday, starting at 3 p.m. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need any help registering for that event. And then also next week on Wednesday, May 12th, starting at 12 noon, we have the 8A Business Development Program by SBA which will be presented by Aregnas Muradian, the lead business opportunity specialist. And lastly, for this month so far, on Wednesday, we have our Hora Feliz, May 19th at 5 p.m., presented by Charlotte Works. As always, please feel free to reach out to me, especially if you're a restaurant owner. Again, I can't stress how important it is to attend this event on Monday. And yeah, that's all I have for you for the upcoming events. Now, we're going to do a brief introductions for everyone. If you could just keep it to your name, job title, that'd be great. Starting with Miss Amy.
Hello, everyone. Amy, payroll plus, job title is Senior HCM Consultant. I've only had half a cup of coffee, so that's what I'm going to blame it on.
All right, thank you. And now we'll move on to Mr. Larry Grant, which we all know and love. Oh, you're on mute, Larry.
Okay, gracias igualmente. Love you guys too. Good morning, everybody. Larry Grant, Premier Financial Services. I'm the Senior Funding Advisor helping businesses and real estate investors find the money they need.
Awesome.
Do you need me to say more? That was it, right? You just want something short and sweet, right?
Short and sweet.
Okay, because if not, I have a 5-page dissertation already prepared, but I figured I'd do this one first.
I think we have breakout rooms.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Ms. Maite, I just talked to you yesterday.
Hey, yes, Giovanni, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maite Mandakovic, and I am the CEO of Rebel Facility Services. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone.
Awesome.
Buenos
Thank you for
dias.
joining us. Sorry, go ahead.
I just said buenos dias.
Oh, buenos dias. And then we also have someone new today, Ms. Kendra, even though I've known her for a while.
Hi, good morning. Thanks, Giovanni. I'm Kendra Clavo, and I'm Vice President of the Latitude Group. We're actually located in Kernersville, but we do a lot of work in Charlotte as well.
Awesome. And we move on to Mr. John Rojas.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm John Rojas, Treasurer for the Chamber. And I'll say, instead of buenos dias, Cubo.
You. Billy?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Billy Austin, Van Popering Insurance, and I specialize in employee benefits such as group health care, disability, life, and vision.
Thank you for that. And one of our board members, Mr. Erlan Martinez Castro.
That sounds like a long name. It's been a long time since someone put the two last names together. My name is Erlan. I work with Performa Think Inc. And Giovanni said, new to the board as well. And we supply promotional products, apparel, and print for small to large companies.
Awesome. And moving on to one of our other board members, Mr. Rich Robles.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Yes, Rich Robles, and I am part of the Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity team at Novant Health. And I have been a board member of the Latin American Chamber of Commerce, Charlotte, for the last 3 years. Good to be with you.
Thank you, Rich. And everyone knows Fernando Mayoral, our social media guru here at the Chamber.
Hey, everyone. I'm Fernando Mayoral. I work for the Latin American Chamber of Commerce for the marketing department, and also have my own company, Your Party Online and Your Promotion Online. So if you need help with your social media, I can help you.
Awesome. And my jefa, other than Gris, my mera, Ms. Debbie Ortega.
You want to go first? Oh, you already introduced yourself, Gris, but I guess I'll go. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. I've met most of you at this point. I do see some new faces, so thank you so much for joining us and being here with us. I look forward to connecting with you in the breakout rooms, and I'm the Events and Programs Manager for the Latin Chamber. So if you ever have any ideas of what you want to see us do, reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat as well, and we'll send it out to you post-event.
Awesome. And I just get tired of talking about myself all the time, but you know, I'm the Membership Services Manager, and I am always here for you. So please feel free to contact me as well. Now, so we are celebrating Mental Health Month with this event. And so it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Ray Castillo. Ray is a marriage and family therapist, recent grad with a master's from Pfeiffer University, and he has a lot to share with you today. So, Mr. Castillo, take it away.
Thank you. Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here. And first, I will say that I also last year had the opportunity to be part of the LACCC family and also the Events and Programs Manager for a short term while I was finishing my graduate program. So yeah, LACCC is always part of me and in my heart. I enjoyed it. I know some of the faces around here, and I was glad and very thankful and appreciative to be invited to talk about mental health. And I want to again thanks LACCC for the invitation and the opportunity to give this presentation on an important topic such as mental health, right? And when I was thinking about mental health and what I wanted to talk about, I kind of wanted to talk about, just mindfulness, right? Maybe not so much. Mindfulness can mean so many different things to it in the mental health realm, but I really wanted to kind of talk a little bit of what is happening today in regards to mental health, right? Celebrating mental health awareness this month, which is so important, but I wanted to really dig into the pandemic and what that looks like today and how is it affecting our community and as business owners or as business partners or even co-workers and affiliates, how that is something that you all need to be mindful of and needs to be at the forefront. So I think mental health awareness should be celebrated not only once a month, but it should be celebrated every day. And like Giovanni introduced me. Thank you, Giovanni. My name is Ray Castillo. I am a marriage and family therapist, and I'm also a licensed clinical addiction specialist. So my area of concentration is marriage and family therapy, but also I am licensed as an addictions counselor, a therapist, and I work for the Blanchard Institute here in Charlotte as a primary therapist with them. And I also do my own private practice also on the side. I'm very excited about what I do and knowing how important that is to the community. So a little bit of background on me. I'm a native of the island of Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to go to the island, but it's beautiful. And I was born there and I was raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I have lived here in Charlotte for the last 5 years. So I love Charlotte. I don't think I want to say I don't think I want to go back to Fort Lauderdale, but it's a little bit scary in Charlotte here. It's growing so quickly in the last 5 years that I've been here. So I'm not sure, but at least for now, I love the people. I love the community and what I do here. So again, I wanted to kind of point out Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And as a mental health provider, I am thankful for the mindfulness given to this condition, or what we call sometimes a disease that affect millions of people across the nation, right? And I want to say, if you've ever heard what, the term or the word mindfulness, right? Or mindful, I want to simplify it to you because again, it could mean so many different things, but in all theory, it really means to be aware, right? And when we become aware, then we have the opportunity to become concerned, curious, and give ourselves the opportunity to do something to seek a solution, right? Now, as business owners, managers, or even co-workers, you may be asking a question, or I will ask, right? Why is it important to you and your organization to be mindful of mental health, right? So it's the question of the $1,000,000, right? Well, I'll say first and foremost is because mental health does not discriminate against anyone, right? It can impact you. It can impact your significant other, your children, your employees or coworkers. And finally, it can affect your business. And I will say this with respect to you, and your significant, as a business owner or manager or even an operator, and I want to put this burden on you because it should be your responsibility to ensure the safety and well-being of every person that is around you or forms part of your organization, including their mental health, right? And while there is no secret about how mental health affects millions of people in our population, I do want to raise the awareness that during this pandemic, such as COVID, the ramifications and implications and damage are significant, not for a simple period of time, but this is something that's going to stay around for quite a while. So while science is advancing in the vaccines and everything that they're working on to prevent the spread or prevent more serious outcomes, the mental health aspect of it is significant, and it's not something that you can just simply give a shot to someone and make them well. So I want to just for you to be mindful of that. And when we talk about COVID and how it has been around for over a year now, I want to kind of let you know, if you don't know yet, I'm sure you do, it has affected more than 120 million individuals worldwide, 2.66 million deaths. And the numbers keep going up, obviously. But in the US alone, there have been about 29.5 million cases plus and over 535,000 deaths. And while I can discuss so many different topics around mental health, I want to concentrate again on the impact and implications during this pandemic and the contribution to the mental health crisis that we have going on right now in our community. So let's keep in mind that, again, this pandemic has impacted the economy greatly. Our community has been affected by being out of work, filing for unemployment, struggling to pay their bills and feed their families. So it has impacted significantly, both financially and medically. For business owners as yourself, this pandemic has caused for you to reduce your personnel, make drastic cuts, and take greater losses, and causing some of you or people that to declare bankruptcies. And we know around Charlotte, there has been many small businesses that unfortunately had to close their doors because they could no longer survive. And yet, after all these horrific events, there is a greater concern for every individual, which still comes back to their mental health. So the pandemic has contributed to the rise of mental health illnesses and mental health issues. And I want to kind of, bring some, I always, when I present on something, I always like to bring, reports, studies, that are valuable when we talk about mental health. And this, I read up a lot on the CDC and some other studies that showed alarming increases in what we call in our world adverse mental health conditions. So substance use disorders has gone up tremendously. I'll talk to that a little bit. Suicidal ideation in adults, just within the last June of 2020, these are all the reports that have come up since then. And these show that the prevalence of symptoms of anxiety disorder was approximately 3 times higher than the previous year. So we went from 8.1% in 2019 to in 2020, by June 2020, to 25.5% of the population. With that, the depressive disorders were approximately 4 times than the previous year. So from 6.5% went to 24.3%. And 1 in 10 of the population reported starting or increasing a substance use, elevating suicidal ideation, which approximately twice as many respondents reporting serious considerations of suicide. So I want to kind of stop here for a moment, because I like for you all to dissect that and take it in. That we are, that when we talk about a situation of a pandemic, such as COVID-19, most times we look at the adverse effects that it has had in our financial system. And though that is really important, it's something that through the months and through the years can kind of come back. People can get back on their feet, can do different measures to stay alive and afloat and do that. But when we talk about mental health and crisis and all that stuff, it's not the same. In this report that the CDC did, one of the things that caught my attention, and I wanted to, and this is why I loved LACCC's allowing this moment to talk about mental health, is because the CDC reported that most of the people that are affected in the mental health crisis that we have going on are Latinos or Hispanics, and also basic African-American people, essential workers, unpaid caregivers for adults, and people receiving treatment for pre-existing psychiatric conditions. So when we talk about being a Latino-driven organization as LACCC, it's important that we bring this up to light, and then we give its importance in what it really does and how it really affects our Latino community as a whole. So more specific statistical data that I want to share with you is drug overdose deaths accelerated during COVID-19, and bringing a number to about 81,000 drug overdoses just occurring the last 12 months. Again, this is numbers up until May 2020. The CDC has not released anything yet. In December of 2020, the more than 40 states reported an increase in opioid-related mortality. Suicidal ideation and thoughts of suicide rose to 11% of people reporting symptoms in comparison to 4% the previous year. The pandemic has caused an increase in anxiety, depression, stress, panic disorders, and PTSD. And it's responsible also for the stress of the healthcare system. And this is what is very interesting when it comes to all of this, because if you have been around the mental health or know someone who is a mental health provider, one of the things that we strive for in the mental health field is how do we incorporate, right, what we do to the medical component. And when we talk about that, and how the healthcare system has been tremendously affected by the pandemic, it's really interesting that the CDC reported that most of the issues while the pandemic was going on, most of the cases coming into the emergency rooms had to do with either mental health or substance use. So there is an unfortunate thing, because one of the things that have happened is that the medical providers in emergency care were not trained or ready to deal with these issues. So a lot of times people were turned back away, were asked to go seek mental health services from the community and such, because there was they were not trained or ready to do that. There's a lot of work to be done in that area. I would say that while I believe that in terms of what I'm doing right now, I would say that I'm fortunate to be in one of the most stable careers of today when it comes to mental health. I think that I think that I can retire from being a therapist in my years to come. But it's also very exhausting to see the need in our communities. There's a lot of, and I'll say this, there's not one of my colleagues that I know right now in the field, and I'm talking from existing, people that have many years of experience as a therapist or a recent graduate that went into private practice, that is not maxed out in their caseloads. So if you guys, a full caseload for us therapists out in private practice is about 20 to 25 people per week. That's a maximum caseload. I know that some of my colleagues out in private practice right now have over 30, 35 people per week. So it's exhausting. The need is great, and there's not many of us out there that are doing this. And there's a lot of people that are on waiting lists, right? So the reality of this mental health crisis is that it's here. It will remain here for years to come, right? Our efforts should be in finding resources and opportunities to create resources where the people we love, care for, and that we are responsible for, receive the help that they need. So with all of that negative information that I just presented, which is not really negative because it helps us to kind of determine the path on how we can assist, right? And what mental health is for us. The big question is, what can we do, right? How can I help myself and those around me? And I will start by saying that the most important asset in your project and what you do is yourself. The best investment that you can ever make in your business or in what you do is to make sure that you are okay, right? A lot of times as business owners or leaders, we are so focused on everything else than ourselves. So I want to bring awareness to you, and I want you to be mindful that in order for you to be an effective leader and continue to do what you're doing, it is important that you take care of yourself, right? So how do you do that? Well, I invite you to accept first that the fact that there is a crisis going on mental health, and that is affecting you as well as everybody else that you come in contact with. So starting from that point and that perspective, what you want to do is, become aware of it, right? It's happening, it's here. You know, what do I need to know? And how do I need to care about myself? What do I need to do? And how do I need to protect myself and those who I care for or those who I lead, right? So one of the things that you can do, other than research, if you are into research and seeing what's going on out there, is consult with a mental health professional for assistance, right? It's understanding that you as a leader, you know, you are in much need just as anyone in your group, and that perhaps, you know, you also need to have a therapist to, you know, to help you, or just consult on mental health issues, you know, ask for assistance. I would say, and I would invite you to create opportunities such as partnerships with your business. And when, you know, one of the things that I remember working with LACCC is that, you know, LACCC targets mostly small businesses, right? And I know that the resources for small businesses are not, very resourceful. There are some small businesses that have less than 25 employees, therefore they can't provide, insurance for their people that they work that work for them. So, you know, right now, because of the need, there are some therapists out there that are willing to work directly with you as a business, as a small business owner, to connect with you in a partnership where you can assist your people, the people, you know, your loved ones, yourself, and other people that work for you, to have services available for mental health. Um, and invite you, invite a mental health professional to come and talk to you, the people that work for you when it comes to an education on self-care, on what you can do to prevent different things happening from you. You know, I think that, one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself and for others that are working for you is to create an environment that is mental health driven. And the reason how you could do that is promoting it. It's really important that you promote it within your business, that you promote it for yourself, for the loved ones, and and again, most importantly, is to recognize that that you also need to be taken care of, right? If you're not well, your business will not be well. The people you love will not be well. Those around you will not, that you're in charge of, will not be well. So I want to leave you with some hope. And this is that, number one, you're not alone. As a business owner or leader, you're not alone. There is help for you. There is help for your loved ones, the ones that you manage or work with you, or for your business as well. So I want to open it to invite you to become more involved in what mental health is, how it affects you, how it impacts your business, and do something about it. It's important that we recognize that, again, and I can't stress it enough, that this is here to stay for a while. We are here to help. We are here to empower you, to give you the tools and that you need to become better in what you do, become healthier in your mental health and everything else that happens after that. So I wanted to take this time to leave it open for questions, any questions or any concerns that you kind of like a Q&A. There's any questions that you may have about mental health, if you have a question about your business or anything like that, I would like to open it up for that.
John, feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay, Ray, how does one identify, or what are the symptoms that therapy is required? And two, how do you go about convincing a person that they've reached the point where therapy is essential or needed?
Okay, so I heard the first question about identifying. How does one identify a mental health?
Yeah.
Is that John? Is that from the perspective of yourself? How do you know that you have a mental health condition?
Or that someone you work with, let's say you're a leader, you're a manager, and you're saying something's not right here, the team's not working. I may have mental health issues. And then second part of the question is approaching that person or persons that maybe we need therapy or maybe they need therapy.
Yeah. So right, definitely different kinds of mental health illnesses, right? And that's the one thing that we want to be kind of mindful, right? There's so many different ones out there that, we don't know exactly what's going on. However, if as a leader, you identify within yourself or someone else that may have something going on, because it's very prevalent out there right now, then what I would do, depending on your business structure, right? If you're a small business owner and you are the owner or you are the manager, having a simple conversation from a very empathetic perspective, right? Of, just kind of a talk with them and say, hey, I have noticed, right, that there might be something going on. I've noticed your performance. I've noticed, just having a simple conversation with them and inviting them to explore the possibility of seeing a therapist, right? The best way to do that, and I would say this, and is to kind of form that partnership with someone and perhaps invite them. It's easier for an employee to seek therapy services when you as an owner or as a manager have a contact already. Say, hey, listen, I have Ray Castillo. He's a marriage and family therapist. He also does substance addiction therapy. I would like for you to just have a consultation with him, right? Have a conversation with him about, what may be happening with you, and inviting that, right? It's easier, again, for them when you provide that for them, that access, than just telling them you need to seek help. I will say this, John, that right now, because we are so packed up, therapists, that when they call, let's just say, if you tell your employee, go to psychology today and seek a therapist, they can do that. But out of 10 calls, out of 10 different therapists that they may see and call, maybe one will answer back. And that's because they don't have availability. So it's easier if you have someone that you can connect with and work with, so that to make sure that you can transition that employee to that therapist, so that they don't have to wait or be called or not be called back, because that's what's happening right now. I hope I answered your question on that, John.
I just want to share, thank you, Ray, for this, but I want to share a personal story. I mean, I feel compelled to. My sister, who is 16 years younger than I am, she's almost like my daughter, she exhibited a lot of symptoms, and they started with, I hate my job. She hated going to her job. And she, and we were like, find another job. What's the problem? We were willing to support her, like, leave your job, we'll support you, get another job. It was as easy as that. But for her, it wasn't that easy. For her, it was, I hate my job. And she kept showing up, and she would come home crying, and she would lock herself in her room. And and so we knew at this point that something was wrong, something was off. But we kept asking you, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I just hate my job. That was her thing. She hated her job, and she got stuck into that, and finally, we tried to convince her to go see a psychologist, and she didn't want to go. I'm fine. I just hate my job. That was her thing. So as I experienced this with her, I mean, I even brought her in North Carolina with me to spend 3 months with me, and we traveled to Miami, and I try to just get her out of that. It has to come from that person. That's what I know. No matter how much you tell them, go see a psychologist. I'll go with you. I'll make the appointment, all of that. It has to come from her, from that person. So she had to really hit rock bottom where she was like, yes, I need help, where she actually went to see a psychologist and, and put her on medication, because sometimes, it's a balancing thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm happy to report after like a year of that, she's on medication now, and she's doing a lot better. And she found another job that she loves and she's happy with, and for us, it was just as simple as find another job, but it wasn't the job. It was something internally that was going on for her. So sometimes you can't, like John, you can't force someone and say, hey, go see a psychologist. It's not as easy as that. It has to come from within when you're ready, and I've experienced that firsthand. So thank you, Ray, for sharing that with me. I mean, just if you know anyone who's not acting normal, I would say my sister was not acting herself. You know, now that she's on medication, she says, I feel so much more like myself now. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
and
real.
I'll add to that, Gris, that that it's yes, it doesn't matter if the person's not ready to commit to treatment. There's nothing that the therapist can do. You know, but it is also, I will call on you to at least make that attempt, like Gris did with her sister. Hey, let's look for some help, right? Just doing that, right? Sometimes people that need that little extra push, you can't make them, but at least you're making them be mindful and aware that they may need some support and help, right? And when you can transition them, right, and finding that help, it's a lot easier for them to say yes, that they will go for help than just kind of like, well, you need to seek your own help. Here, just you need to call and also just FYI, I want to, because anytime that you say to someone, you need to go see a therapist, right? Or a psychologist or immediately people think I'm not crazy. Well, it's not about that, right? I don't think that there's such a stigma when it comes to going to counseling and going to therapy, right? So just, therapy is about working with the individual, the couple, the family, just to resolve anything that is going on, right? Any kind of mental health issues, right? The reality is that, someone that is suffering from a mental health condition, and someone that has had a suicidal ideation. It's very common, or someone that is struggling with a substance use disorder at this time, right? When COVID hit, people would turn to alcohol. People, were drinking on the job because it's not easy. Isolation is not easy. So very prevalent. People started smoking a lot more pot, got into opioids. So this is reality for our community, for people that
I'm Claudia Vasquez. I just wanted to add that all of this is very, very great information. I also wanted to make a suggestion that as you are business leaders or small business owners, please just partner with someone who is in the profession, and also gather as many resources as you could possibly can to refer those employees or someone you may know. The last thing that we would want to do is diagnose someone ourselves, because they may take it really personal. I'm in the HR field, and coming from both perspectives, from a non-healthcare, working for an employer in a non-healthcare field, the last thing we wanted is to give the perception we're diagnosing somebody. So of course, leave it to a healthcare professional or to professional licensed therapist to do that, and partner with someone who's in that profession to advise you for those things. And always come in a way out of concern, as Gris was mentioning, and Ray, out of concern, and here are the resources, this is what I think, versus go do it. Because you may give the perception that, oh my gosh, I've been diagnosed with something and I don't know what's going on, and leave it to the professionals and with guidance with someone who may better know how to maneuver that whole conversation. So just coming from that perspective.
That's great, Claudia. Thank you for sharing that. And that, again, I know that some of you guys have small businesses or may work for a large corporation. And when you work for a medium or a large corporation, you have the advantage of the HR that can support. But when you're a small business, I would highly suggest, like Claudia said, partner with a therapist, partner with some people out there that you can have connections with. And the best way to start doing that is inviting them to come and share, talk about self-care and family issues, as a, conversation, and that will open up so many different doors. So there's many ways of going around that, but partnering with a licensed therapist would be a key thing to do, right? And especially if you don't offer any kind of insurance for your employees.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ray. If anybody has any additional questions, you'll be able to see Ray in the breakout rooms. And also, we had shared his contact information in the slide. We'll make sure to get that to you so that you can reach out to him, connect with him. He could be your resource for your small business as well. I know he's here to help. So thank you so much for joining us today. Ray, we really, really, really appreciate it. This is such an important matter that could change anybody's life. So please reach out to him if you so need to. And I want to go ahead right now and do a little brindis with our coffee or tea, because that is one of my self-care tips. So if we could all raise our little mugs, and Fernando's gonna take a screenshot for social media. So salud. Gracias. Take a sip. So good. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and transition into our breakout sessions. You can go ahead and connect with other people here if you want to debrief. I know this was quite a lot of information to take in. Feel free to do so there. And we're going to have 12 minutes. Don't worry. I will be in the chat letting you know the timers, so I don't cut you off, because I've been known to do that. But I will bring you back in a few minutes. Please enjoy. See you soon.